Well, as the COVID crisis took grip, Coventry City Council started reaching out to local community groups, exploring how they could extend the food bank or food hub network across Coventry. The Trussell Trust, who were behind the food banks, they didn't think that Cheylesmore had enough poverty to justify a food bank, but other options could and should be explored. And that took the form of Cheylesmore Volunteers, a group of local people looking to help during the crisis. Martin, a council resilience officer, was able to provide support and contacts. It didn't take long for that to land in the community through shopping assistance, which saw volunteers shop for those that were shielding and unable to do it for themselves. The dream of a food hub for the area was still alive, and aspirations of a May 8th start were planted. Zoom meetings between volunteers and the City Council started to put shape around those dreams. An appeal for volunteers with food hygiene certificates saw Caroline Sinclair enter the picture for the first time. Local residents, shops and venues started collecting food, but where would the food go? Where would it be stored, packed and sent from? So here enters Cheylesmore Community Centre and King's Church that have been working together for many years. The community centre can provide a building, and the church a charitable entity to support funding applications, bookkeeping, and trustees with experience and time to get stuck in. Several of the volunteers, they started visiting other food hubs around the city, which is slightly different, in each one meeting the needs of their own community. FareShare, who collect and deliver donations from large supermarkets and resellers, started weekly deliveries. So together with the food collected locally, food parcels could now be delivered to those that signed up through the Facebook page. The council helped with making applications for funding that would meet the cost of food and getting it to that point of need. Severn Trent gave us £2,000, and in fact the Severn Trent CEO personally gave £1,500 to each Coventry food hub. Heart of England gave us £2,000, Coventry Lions £500. Now, since the government lockdown had mandated closure of the community centres, we've been able to make use of the empty rooms and halls, but we did need to find our own space as other groups would soon come back. So we started looking where this could be within the community centre building. In the meantime, the City Council paid for fresh fruit and veg through July and August, with McDonald's providing the paper bags to put them in. After 5 weeks of free deliveries, we moved to a well-established subscription model. So that's £4 a week for approximately £20 worth of food. Now, we found an area in the community centre, but some building work was required to get access doors, and this was going to take more funding. We also needed a fridge, a freezer, and really a paid coordinator that would keep things running during the day when others went back to work after furlough. So we applied to National Lottery and we got the full amount that we asked for, £14,536. So the building work started and we carried on using the empty community centre rooms in the meantime. In the background, Feeding Coventry, an overarching Coventry organisation, got £43,000 from DEFRA to buy a stockpile of non-perishable items that we're still able to draw from now. Then the building work was completed, the fridge and freezer delivered, and this is what the finished room looks like. Now, support from King's is much appreciated, but the food hub does need to stand on its own feet, and we've applied for to be a charitable company. The trustees would come from volunteers already involved. So you've got Caroline Sinclair as trustees, Judy Garland acting as treasurer, and me as the third trustee, who's also a trustee of the King's Church charity. So we met for the first time on the 15th of September, eager to see if our application to the Charity Commission would be accepted, and on the 10th of October we got notification that we are now officially a charitable company. Now, with the National Lottery funding, we were also able to appoint one of the volunteers, Andy Rogers, to the position of Cheylesmore Food Hub Coordinator. Now, funding only covers 6 months, but it's just staggering to think that we've got this far. We're also trying to get a bank account for our new charity, but with all the high streets closed to new business customers, yep, seriously, we're still trying other less known banks, but in the meantime we're still operating financially through King's Church. Personal Homes have just given us a grant of £1,000, which is great, and none of these grants fall out of the sky. It's constant work in the background to apply for them. Nevertheless, it's great that funding is out there if you ask. And all of this activity is to meet one objective: to ensure that everyone in our community has access to food. You'll see in this graph there's two lines. The bottom one is a number of parcels being sent out weekly, and the top line is a number of people we're reaching. So some parcels are for single people and others go to couples and families. 46 parcels, 109 people, and we're still steadily growing. I wish we could show you the faces of all 109 people, but remember, it's difficult for people to ask for help. Maybe over time some will be happy to share their stories, and of course you'll be the first to hear. Now, we've got a Christmas appeal. It's called Reverse Advent Calendar. Normally you take a chocolate each day from a calendar, but with a Reverse Advent Calendar you put something back, an item of food listed against each day. That's something anyone can do. None of the days have expensive items. We're not collecting caviar. The collection day is Saturday 19th of December, so you will need to jump ahead to the 25th. The collection point is Cheylesmore Social Club car park between 11 AM and 2 PM. Now, some people have already completed theirs. A group of local men who like to drink and have given themselves humorously this name, the 1600 Club. They would normally go to the pub, but because of lockdown they decided to go to the supermarket instead, and they put together 13 reverse advent calendars. That's a big heart. So the invitation is to get involved, make a difference to those struggling, help unload deliveries, stock some shelves, pack some bags, deliver a few parcels. It's all simple stuff. It doesn't take any special skills or much time. So for more information, go to our Cheylesmore Food Hub Facebook page, where you can get all the latest information and you can sign up as a volunteer. So please keep asking the question and we'll keep telling about our journey.